and welcome to the Power Up Talk Show, a talk show where we bring together community leaders and inspirational people that are making a difference in our world. I'm Sandy Spady, your host, and welcome to the show. Before I introduce my amazing guest, we always like to have a little bit fun with Dion Bass with Somber Cocktails. Hello, Dion.
Hey, Sandy. How's it going?
Great.
Thanks for having me on the show as always. And today I wanted to kind of move us into spring. I know that we've done a lot of hot and heavy things, some really cool stuff over the winter, but today I really wanted to spring forward, so to speak. So we're going to start off with a wild berry mule. So first, I'm going to add a little bit of pineapple juice. Pineapple is going to provide me with the sweetness that I want in my mules. And then I'm going to add some wild berry syrup. This wild berry syrup is not necessarily sweet. Berries aren't always sweet when they come off the vine. They're usually just a little bit on the tart side. My next ingredient is going to be just a wee bit of lime juice. Ooh. Limey. And my next to last ingredient is going to be Deep Eddy's vodka. All right, now it's time to party. And lastly, we're going to use a little Brickway ginger beer, and that's going to add some more sweetness. It's also going to add some gingeriness and some effervescence. And together, we're going to have a very beautiful wild berry mule that everyone can enjoy. Have these on your patio, have these with friends, but whatever you do, remember, I'm a professional. Please try this at home. Thanks, Sandy.
Alrighty, let's test this out, little Missy. Let's cheers.
Oh, that's good.
So refreshing.
Really
Bring on the sunshine now. All right, audience, you're in for a treat because this is a really good friend of mine, and her passion and her heart is huge. Miss Becky Phipps, welcome to the Power Up Talk Show.
Thank you, my dear friend. I appreciate, I'm a fangirl. I love Sandy Spady. Had the chance to meet you almost 4 years ago.
Yes, because she is the Business Development Director at the Greater Omaha Chamber, which I love, still do things with them. I will always be that chamber cheerleader. And your history, right? Corporate companies, global companies, AAA, Mastercard. I mean, 3 decades. We're seasoned. That means we're really smart. So don't pull anything on us.
A lot of experience here. A lot of experience.
Yes, a lot
right?
of experience of just, business, relationships, professionally, personally, right? That's what we do. Bring
all of
people together.
It. Absolutely. I'm the daughter of a teacher, right? My dad taught in Ottawa, Iowa for 35 years. And then substituted for 15 more. And I went into education. I actually taught in a small town over in Iowa, Logan. Go Panthers, purple and gold.
I love that.
Right? And 4 years in education, you earn more the more degrees you have behind your name. So I decided to go back and get my master's degree. And when I did, I found out about learning and development, back in the day called training development. And when I finished at Iowa State, I came here because Barry, my husband, was already here, had put down roots. And that's when I got hired at AAA.
Yeah.
I was there for nearly 15 years, vice president of marketing, in charge of sales, ran the membership P&L. And eventually we were absolved into another holding company of AAA clubs in the Midwest. And the things changed, and so I thought, okay, what next? What's the next step for me? And I ended up with a global company called Travelex. Travelex Currency Services was one of our suppliers for prepaid cards, foreign exchange, and banknotes, basically, and traveler's checks. And so that wild ride was like the game of Survivor. Yeah. There was constant global reorgs, regional reorgs, and I made it through the transition from Travelex to Mastercard when they acquired our prepaid cards division. And eventually, that road ended for me the same year that I lost both my parents.
Wow.
So mom passed in March of 2018. Dad passed on September 28th of 2018. I got the call 30 minutes before I was supposed to be on a conference call with HR to exit my job. Wow. So 3 major things in 1 year.
They say it comes in threes.
That's
an example. Wow, that's
really
really tough. Yeah.
And it felt like a gut punch, right? Yeah. And yet, I think in all things, God works for our good.
Absolutely.
Right? As we were doing a joint celebration of life for my folks, and my mom had sworn my dad and vice versa, no funerals, just a private ceremony at the grave, that's it. They were cremated, they didn't want anyone looking at them, all the things. And through the sympathy cards and all of the comments that were made, you reflected on what an impact he made in the community, and together they made in the community. And so as I was saying, all right, now what next? Where is the right place to land? The position at the chamber opened up. And for years, every time we'd travel, I'd say, oh, you know, there's no place like home. Landing at Epley, when you've been gone somewhere, you just can't wait to get back. And so the chamber felt like coming home. I started in a membership organization. I'm back in a membership organization. I'm doing good things for people here in Omaha. And it was just, it's a total blessing that I am where I am, and it's the right place to be.
And that's when I met Becky at the Greater Omaha Chamber. I was working in membership also. And it's just amazing how our membership sales team we were really a tight-knit group. We really got along, and I ventured away, and Becky's still there and doing amazing things. Tell us, what is like the most satisfying thing that you do at the chamber now? Because you've done a lot.
I have a blessing in the fact that I get to do a lot of things. Bringing new members into the fold, obviously. I mean, I learned from the best.
Oh, I love members.
And still the chamber cheerleader, always the chamber cheerleader. But I also get to do a lot with sponsorships. And I absolutely love helping people to engage in the chamber in ways that are meaningful to their business. And I think what's so fascinating to me, I took the Gallup Strength Finder quiz or what have you, gosh, back in 2004 when I was part of the chamber's Leadership Omaha class.
Oh,
It's a leadership development program, 10 months, everything. My boss at the time, who was president of AAA, said, you should really try this. Got into it. Your top 5 strengths. So my top is strategic. My second is maximizer. So I see things 30,000 feet, but go right to the ground level. I want it to be the best. I have ideas going all the time. Ideation is my number 3. And I want it to be significant. I want to make a difference. So I think the fact that I get to blend so many of my top strengths into what we do at the chamber, we could be talking, and as I learn about your business, automatically all of these ideas are connecting, like, okay, I need you to know this person, and I think this would be a good resource. And so for me, it's every day is different. Every conversation's different. It's so, and you know.
Well, strategic. I hear too. I totally get that. We see things and opportunities that people may not see.
Exactly right. So I think that's really the best part is really seeing where to plug people in and then watching them do it and watch the success that comes from it. Whether it be a small business or a larger organization who just has a lot of boots on the ground and needs to, divide and conquer and really plug into all of the different things. I had the opportunity last year to do 2 different networking sessions for our young professionals group. And, public speaking, like I grew up with a dad who coached speech and drama. It's in my blood.
Yes,
right?
I love it.
So doing the member orientation, we just did that this morning.
I know, and I missed it again. Darn it.
You're
It's
welcome.
so much. I know, I love it. You learn people.
People.
You get to meet people there.
And it's a different group every time.
Every time. I know. I'm going to make the next one. It's really, if you have not attended the orientation, you have to, because you get to meet other business owners that are excited to be a part of something big, the chamber.
It is. And it's fun. You can kick the tires. Like oftentimes I'll say, hey, if you're not a member, that's a really good place for me to bring you in, see what it's all about, and make a decision then. If it's right for you, it's right for you. And if it's not, that's okay. The chamber's not for everybody, but it's for a lot of people.
It's for a lot of
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
It's the butter and bread of the city, honestly.
It is. And I think sometimes people misunderstand that the Greater Omaha Chamber isn't just Omaha, right? And it's not just Douglas County, that the Greater Omaha Chamber is greater in the fact that it covers an 8-state or 8-county region, right?
People don't realize that.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to talk about something really exciting.
And nerve-wracking.
I love it. So recently at Win with Voices, we had author Mike Knight, where we had, I think there was 12 amazing women that are in the process of publishing a book, going to publish a book, but we wanted to showcase their stories. And what was so amazing, because Becky's writing a book in the process of almost being published, is that each woman had such a great story.
It was amazing.
It was so good.
And that common thread that kind of wove through the whole night, right?
Yeah, it was so beautiful. But your book has a fun, sassy name, right? I love it. Reflections of Life, Love, and Lessons Learned at the Pool. Now, I don't know how many of you out there did not have all these lessons at the pool.
Right?
Such great memories. We couldn't wait to be able to go to the pool by ourselves, right? And then just the memories come just
flooding back.
Yeah, flooding
right?
back.
They really
do. So tell us about, first of all, what made you write a book, right? It's not easy. I've done it twice. Yeah, got the third one out there sometime, right?
Yes.
But what made you do it?
I had two different ideas kind of bubbling around in my head for a while. And I think with both of the folks passing, that was really the trigger, like the starting point. And I knew how I wanted it to start and how I wanted it to end, because it really centralized, the central theme is their love story. Things came out during the course of my mom's passing as we were sitting around bedside. She was on life support, and we were chatting, waiting for my youngest brother to get from Iowa City. And my dad starts recollecting memories, kind of like talking out loud. We are all kind of lost in our thoughts. But he mentioned something about, yeah, I remember your mom and on that inflatable dinosaur. And I'm thinking, my dad managed the swimming pool in Ottawa for 35 years, alongside, because when you're a teacher, you need to supplement the income in order to raise a family. And so I grew up at the pool. I taught swimming lessons from the time I was in 6th grade.
I love it.
6th grade. I was a lifeguard from the time I was probably 10th grade and up, and until I graduated from college, so 22 roughly. So the swimming pool was central to our family and to our story. And I turned to him and I said, I could not even picture Mom in the pool on an inflatable dinosaur. I'm like, when we were really little, what was this? I said, in the Ottawa pool, Dad? I don't remember that. He goes, no, in the Armstrong pool. They grew up in a little town in north central Iowa, and just north of the lakes, Okoboji, Storm Lake, Spirit Lake, all of that. And I said, well, how old were you? And he said, she was 8 and I was 10. So this love story that I'd known 55 years of my life actually started when they were just elementary school. And it kind of all reverts back to the pool. Yeah.
When was the defining moment that you knew, I'm going to do it? Like, everyone always has a book. You know, I share a book. What was it that, like, I'm doing it, right? Because it's not easy.
It's not easy. Yeah. That manuscript is in. I'm just waiting for the editing process, right? You'll love this. It was networking. I have a friend, another friend, I have you, who's written 2 books and published, and I've got Tina Bakehouse.
Yeah, Tina girl.
So she invited me to attend an online Zoom networking group. That's by a gal that's out in like New Jersey, New York. And it's all across the U.S., people from all over jumped on the Zoom call. Prior to the Zoom session, she has you fill in a little bit about yourself and interests so that she can break out people into Zoom rooms based on interests and their types of jobs or companies that they work for, in order that she might create referral partnerships as a result of it. Super great. And in that breakout session was Susie Pruden. Susie Pruden is a little 80-year-old gal who is a New York Times bestseller for a fitness book, no less. She's been on Oprah, all of the things. And I thought, okay, this is sort of like the universe saying, now's the time, here's your person.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had a phone call. I told her about the ideas that I was kicking around. She got so excited that she's like, you've got to write this book. And so I'm like, okay, maybe it's time. Maybe I do need to do this. So.
And is she your publisher too?
She is. Nice. Yes. Yeah.
And how old is she?
She's in her 80s now.
And she's doing what she loves. That's what it's,
still,
and she's still on fire with it.
She is.
That's what's beautiful. When you do something that you purposely are passionate about, you'll do it forever.
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, Stephanie, who does this this networking group, just published a book similar to what your next book is going to be about, and that is a series of contributors, all on various aspects of networking and how to be successful in that referral partner. Yeah.
We are connectors.
We are.
We love to connect people, right? And it's and I just spoke, as I said earlier when I was talking to you, that the UNO Entrepreneurship Midwest conference I spoke at, it was all tech. And I couldn't wait to get out there and talk about people and the connection, because we were blessed to hang out at the pool. We were blessed to go to the game rooms. We didn't have the technology in front of our face all the time, right?
Right.
So it comes naturally to us. But the ones that don't, that grow up with their laptops and their cell phones, it's hard.
It is.
And I loved it, the power of communication.
Yes.
It's so great. And you're the same way.
And connection leads to community.
Yes.
And
So true.
we know post-COVID how difficult mental health is these days. And I think a lot of it is because we crave and we need that human connection. And we're just, we're wired for it.
Yeah.
But if we don't have the experience,
or the confidence to start it, right?
Right.
You know, I saw a need for Women with Voices after the pandemic. Women were thirsty for connection. And I didn't think about it, I just started it. But a lot of times, I had a couple of young ones walk up to me and they're like, how'd you start that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just do it. And it's like building confidence in young people now, right?
Yeah.
They can do it, just start it, and then build it.
Well, think about it. When you learn to ride a bike,
Yeah.
you didn't just jump on it and go, right? You had training wheels first. You had somebody who is back there behind you. That's what you're doing. With Women with Voices, that's what you're doing. You're giving them the training wheels.
I love that.
You're behind them, helping to steady them. And then you're turning them loose and letting them run.
And now I hope there's a story with a banana seat in your book with the pool story.
Oh.
Is there? I feel like there might be.
You know
maybe.
what?
I feel it could be an extra. We all had a banana bike with a banana seat.
I've got to share with you.
Okay.
Maybe it needs to be inside the front cover or whatever.
Yeah.
There is a photo, one of my favorite photos, try not to cry here, of my dad. So as a teacher, we were not country club people. I've heard that a lot growing up. We're not country club people.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Was just a mindset.
Yes.
We didn't have money.
Yeah.
And so we had one car. So my mom worked outside the home before there were children, during children, after we were grown. Amazing woman, smartest gal who could just flip careers. I'm just enamored. And we all joke that she was down in the basement printing money, because how did she make it? How did they put 3 kids through college and all of the things? So she took the car to work, and Dad rode his bike to school and to the pool, and that bike had a banana seat.
I love it.
And my favorite photo is him. No hands,
yeah, no hands,
right? On the banana seat bicycle.
Oh my gosh, that has to go in there.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about a couple of the stories to intrigue the audience that they're like, ooh, I gotta buy this book.
Oh, golly, there's so many.
I know there's a
thoughts
lot.
Well, probably my favorite chapter, and this will resonate with you, because what do we do when we first get here? You like to dance.
Yeah, I dance 24/7.
And
yes.
you did the dance off with Youth for
Emergency Services.
Yep,
Loved
yep,
it.
yep. So, I mean, I know music is part of your jam,
Yes.
right? So in one of the chapters that's called Afternoon Delight, I don't know if you remember that song.
I could probably throw it out right now. Afternoon Delight.
Yep.
I totally got it.
And flight,
yes, I
right?
love it. Okay, I love this.
So every chapter starts with a song of the 60s, 70s, 80s, right? Just a snippet, a stanza, whatever, or the recurring verse. So Afternoon Delight talks all about the afternoon session. Most of the early part of the book is the swimming lessons and how we had different stations for different skills that you were learning and things like that. But Afternoon Delight focuses on open swimming. And throughout that chapter, I talk a lot about the music of the generation and the research. This is fascinating. The research that's been done on music and memory, and how when you connect the two and emotions all together, it will help you. And they're using it for Alzheimer's research and all of the things. So just fascinating.
They never lose it.
No.
They remember, like Glenn Campbell.
Yes.
He had Alzheimer's, but he would always go on the stage and remember.
Yeah, and the music is there, right? I always said if they would have taught everything I needed to know in school via a song with lyrics, like
Totally.
easy.
Yes.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, and then there's, a story about my little brother. My brothers have been great contributors to this book. I'll be firing off texts. Okay, fact check. What was this? How did that work? Do you remember? And there's one story about my youngest brother. He and Brian came down to Penny Park pre-College World Series because they were going to do both. Brian was old enough to drive the car, our only car, so they came down together. I was working at the pool that day, got home to a phone call because my youngest brother had been on the big slide and had gone down, thought he was at the bottom, went to dive because he was tummy first, went to dive, but he wasn't to the water yet, slashed his head open. Brian had to take him to Methodist, to the ER. I get the call at home saying, we need somebody over 18 who can authorize us to treat.
Wow.
Because Brian wasn't 18 yet. So I'm like, I do it, whatever you need to do. Then I get a hold of my folks. They get a friend to take them to Omaha to pick him up. And they walk in and they're like, oh, are you Frankie's parents? And they're like, Frankie, like Frankenstein. So
that is so cute.
all kinds of stuff like that.
And I think Boomer Radio is a great radio station. I think people are starving for tradition again. They want those memories that came with Gillen's Island and those the songs, right, from the 70s. I mean, even my daughter that's 30, she still loves some of the 80s and 70s, right? It just puts that happy feeling in. And I think people are wanting tradition. I know when we did the ribbon cutting at the drive-in theater, Quasar Drive-In Theater, and I had all the ambassadors dress up. It was Grease.
Oh,
Grease, and we all dressed up, and then the governor showed up. It was such a great evening, and he reinstated something that I talked about too at the ribbon cutting, is that, that was the first ribbon cutting, I think, after the pandemic almost, because it was outside. And I felt like the reason he was there is that it just really shows us that we need to get outside, do things that are family orientated and brings back those memories, right? Like the drive-in theaters, the swimming pool, those traditions that never grow old, that sometimes they get lost in generations, and that we need to bring them back.
The other thing I think is so interesting, Sandy, is there are certain things that we've all experienced and that just brings people together also. In the writing of this book, I've relied a lot on people that were from home. My best friend, wrote a whole 3 or 4 pages. She was a diary keeper. She had a diary, and every night she wrote something in it. And so, she had a lot of stuff already written down. Another guy that's over in Lincoln that actually was on Broadway, piano, and now retired and in Lincoln. Funniest guy you'd ever want to meet, had so many stories to share. But it's this camaraderie, like the whole community back home, it will resonate with them, I know.
Absolutely.
But I think like in talking to you and talking to Susie, everybody who's had any kind of experience with a pool, and that growing up and the feeling awkward and the feeling fat, you know,
And the first kiss underneath the water.
exactly, or behind the concession stand where the you know, the picnic bench where all the little smokers would go out and smoke.
Such good memories.
Like, yeah.
So when does your book come out? Lets everyone know how they reach you, how to find you.
Yeah. So I'm told it's about a 4-month process for the editing.
Okay.
So that will put me somewhere in the time scale of late September, mid-October, definitely before the holidays,
Before
which
Christmas.
is awesome.
Christmas gifts.
Yeah. And I guess probably the best place right now is at the chamber. You know, I'm on the website if you want to take a look. I'm still working my way through whether or not I need a website specifically for the book or what have
Always
you.
those details.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But you're on LinkedIn.
One step at a time.
Right,
LinkedIn. Yep, it's Rebecca
Do you have,
Phipps on
yeah,
LinkedIn.
Rebecca.
Yep.
Do you have anything else we can share before we take off?
I don't
Any
think.
one last memory?
No, just I'm so pleased. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to watch you grow the business that you've done, and it's just a privilege to be here today to chat with you. I just love seeing you soar. You're just
You too.
You're
With
killing
this
it.
book, you're going to kill it. And we still get to work together once in a while, which is so a treat. And remember, just go do it. You want to write a book, take the stage, start a business, just do it. The only one that's stopping you is you. And I wish everyone just a great summer vacation. And here's to you, Becky Phipps.
right back at you.